All right, folks, I honestly think that this very shot in the original Jurassic Park from 1993 ruined action and intensity and suspense and being able to take your breath away with some character just barely escaping death, right? This shot just opened up a whole can of worms, and it gave other directors for the foreseeable future too many ideas on what they could possibly do when it came to characters barely escaping death when it comes to CGI creatures. So I have to give credit to Steven Spielberg. This was amazing in 1993 because we all know that Jurassic Park was the original film that really took CGI to the next level. Yes, it was not the very first to utilize CGI characters, but it honestly opened up a whole new world on what was possible with CGI characters that weren't there on set. But that entire sequence where Lex is lifted in the air, that tile that she was on just shatters. We can see the Velociraptor on the ground struggling to get up. And once it gets up, it jumps up and just barely misses Lex's foot. I remember seeing that movie as an 11-year-old in the theater and just that feeling of surprise, like, oh my gosh, she almost got dragged back down by the Velociraptor. It was the first of its kind. Steven Spielberg just took it to the next level. He's a genius. We all know this. End of story. But I want to bring this up right now because I just watched the review from Jeremy Jahns reviewing the new Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, I haven't seen the movie yet. I will be seeing it in a few days, though. I've got tickets already. So I'm very excited to see it. But within Jeremy Jahns' review of it, he said there were so many just recycled and rehashed scenes where dinosaurs are trying to chomp on people and barely missing their limbs. And he said there are several instances like this throughout the movie. But guess what? With over 30 years of CGI being implemented into movies, I am just tired of seeing people barely escape a CGI monster or character or whatever. It literally does nothing for my emotions now. It is no longer suspenseful. I no longer hold my breath. I just know that, oh, this chomping mouth will miss them barely. So I'm still looking forward to seeing Jurassic World Rebirth in the theater in a few days, but gosh, that was disappointing to hear from Jeremy Jahns' review because I can just think back to all the years since 1993 where that has just been overdone. Because you can, because it's a monster that's not really there, because it's CGI. So of course they can animate it in such a way where it is just barely missing. And it's just so tiring now. I mean, credit where credit is due. Steven Spielberg, you did it in 1993. It was amazing. It was new. It was fresh. But then everybody else just wanted to do that same thing. And 30 plus years later, it is just boring. Because you just know they are going to escape. It is just action filler at this point. But even beyond just monsters, I still can't stand it when some CGI, like if it's an extreme weather event, earthquake or tsunami or fire or whatever. I remember seeing Roland Emmerich's 2012 in the theaters. And it was just sequence after sequence after sequence of them just barely escaping death because they could, because it wasn't really there. It was just CGI. I mean, Roland Emmerich's filmography, I could go on for hours on just how ridiculous they are. Basically the same plot over and over and over. But please, directors, filmmakers, writers, can we just find another way to utilize CGI in a way that is actually suspenseful and actually takes my breath away? So what are your thoughts on CGI monsters chasing people and their inevitable escape from these monsters? But better yet, here's a question. How can directors utilize CGI in such a way where it actually is suspenseful? What hasn't been done so far? Just like Steven Spielberg was the OG in creating that iconic shot in Jurassic Park, what's the next CGI shot that every other director is going to want to copy? Just wanted to touch on that real quick, just because Again, I was disappointed after seeing that review of Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, I'm going to be disappointed in that aspect when I see it in theaters in a couple days, but I'm pretty sure overall I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm at least very excited to once again see gigantic dinosaurs on a gigantic screen. So I'm looking forward to that at least. So please tell me your thoughts, comment below, tell me what you think about CGI nowadays. What CGI has affected you recently that had just as big of an impact as it did in 1993 with the original Jurassic Park. Or comment on which examples nowadays you also can't stand. I'd love to get this discussion going. As always, please be kind to each other out there because this world is crazy as it is already. Don't just watch TV shows and movies, experience them, hopefully with CGI that adds to the story and not detracts from it. And of course, appreciate sound design.